Hey, what up, y'all? Welcome back to the Runaway Slave Project. Today, we're going to be talking about the stock market crash. Yes, the stock market crash is finally here. Maybe. In my last video where I gave you guys my top 5 tips for beginner stock market investors, if you haven't seen that video, go check it out right now. But in that video, I mentioned how we're probably about to see a significant dip in the market, but I was not expecting it to come this soon. So in this video, I'm going to list 5 stocks that I think that everybody should be paying attention to during this crash. Now, before we get into the video, I'm going to need you guys to go ahead and hit that like button, share and subscribe if you haven't already done so. And go to the website, runawayslaveproject.com, and check out the merch. We got all kinds of merch. We got hoodies, we got these cups, we got shirts, t-shirts, hats, everything you need. So go ahead, check me out if you want to support the channel. I would definitely love that, all right? And right now, the market is going crazy because you got so many major companies that are approaching that 52-week low mark, and you got some companies like Carnival Cruise Lines, which they're on the brink of approaching their all-time low. And before you go out and sell off your positions, you need to understand something. The market has always gone through these phases. We've always been through recessions and bubbles and, like the dot-com bubble of the 90s. But historically, the market has recovered. So, like I said, never panic. And so knowing this, I'm actually sitting back and I'm waiting on companies like Apple and Visa to fold, because when they hit that 52-week low, that's when I'm going in and I'm going to try to figure out if this is the perfect time to buy. I may not necessarily buy, but I am going to start paying closer attention. Because like I said, when the stock market dips, sometimes that's the best time to go in and see if you can take advantage of those low share prices. In other words, don't panic, strategize, okay? Figure out why we're even going through this crisis, and then figure out who's gonna capitalize on this particular crisis. For example, during spring of 2020, during the COVID crash, we've seen so many companies fold, but a lot of pharmaceutical companies actually capitalized on that particular crisis because we were depending on the medical field and the pharmaceutical companies for COVID treatment. And as soon as we started hearing rumblings of, Moderna and Pfizer creating a vaccine, guess what? Moderna's stock went from like $20 a share to $449 a share. So here's a few stocks that I'm looking at right now that I think has that potential growth. The first one we're going to mention is going to be Meta Platforms, formerly known as Facebook. They have took a 60% hit year to date. But quite naturally, people started falling off the wagon. But honestly, in my opinion, this is probably the best company to invest in at this very moment. And there's a few reasons Meta is on my radar right now. And one is, first of all, the numbers look good. Their 5-year PE, their free cash flow, the amount of debt, their return on invested capital. Those are the things that I'm looking for. You know what I mean? That whenever I'm trying to figure out what's the best stock to buy at the time, I take a look at those numbers. But not only that, people forget that Meta Platforms not only owns Facebook, but they also own Instagram, WhatsApp, and Oculus. And guess what? With all of those companies combined, I think they have over 3.5 billion monthly active users, and that is unheard of. And once Facebook or Meta understands and realizes how to convert those users to dollars, sky's the limit. So and the other reason, the last reason why I'm a huge fan of Meta and buying Meta at the very moment is because of the metaverse. And although we're still a few years away from actually seeing this thing come to life, Meta Platforms is going to be the front runner on it. So you might want to invest now, because the metaverse and Web 3.0 is going to be the wave of the future. So that's why I'm going with Meta. And of course, I got to list Microsoft again. Like I told y'all before, one of my favorite tech companies. I've been down with Microsoft for a long time now. And every time they start hitting their 52-week low or getting around that point, that's when I'm buying, because Microsoft has withstood the test of time and they are consistent on the market. So And another company that I'm looking at is Nike, which is currently trading at $87 and some change, which is down 47% year to date, which is huge. Nike recently announced that they have basically too much inventory that's basically sitting on the shelves. And in order for them to move those products off the shelves to bring new products in, they actually have to go in and heavily discount and mark down a lot of these older products. So what that's going to do is that's going to narrow their profit margins probably around 2 to 2.5%, and investors don't like that. Whenever you start minimizing that profit margin, investors run from that. So that's kind of why we're seeing the decline from Nike. So right now I'm just going to hold off until those Q4 earnings reports come out, and then that's when I'm going to see if I'll go ahead and buy or not. So maybe it's a good opportunity for them to kind of rekindle their flame with Kanye. You never know.
Absolutely not.
No.
Yeah.
But I'll just put that out in the atmosphere. The next company we're going to talk about is Qualcomm, which is a semiconductor company, which basically makes chips for the tech sector. And the reason why I'm watching this one very closely is because these guys rely heavily on the Chinese market, and the Chinese market hasn't been doing very well over the, in recent weeks. So, and since the Chinese market is on a decline, Qualcomm will take a hit for the foreseeable future, but we know that they're going to bounce back. Oh, and the U.S. just announced that they're going to be restricting sales of microchips to China due to tensions that they've been having for a while now. I mean, we're in some kind of silent war with China. I don't know if people remember this, but back in July of this year, we got word that a lot of Chinese EV makers were going to be using Qualcomm for their chips that are going in their vehicles. So that's kind of one of the things that I got in the back of my head, because guess what? When things start to calm down between the U.S. and China, are they going to come back at Qualcomm and say, all right, cool, it's back to business as usual? Or is China going to go out and choose another chip maker? Never know. Just wanted to put that out there. And the last one I'm going to mention to you guys is going to be AMD, which is another semiconductor company that has taken a huge hit, just like all of the chip manufacturers, Micron and Intel, Nvidia. Everybody, that entire sector has taken a hit. But I believe that it's just an overreaction of, what the market is looking like. People are a little bit afraid of these software companies and these tech companies. But guess what? Whenever things start to kind of, balance itself out, these companies will be definitely seeing potential gains. So now keep in mind, I'm not saying that the market is about to bottom out tomorrow. I honestly believe that we still got a little ways to go. Probably when the Dow hits around 26,000, that's when I think we'll start to see things kind of start getting back to normal. So don't panic. Right now it's just the early stages of this particular crash or whatever. But I just want to thank y'all for sticking it out to the end of this video, man. Go ahead and do me a huge favor. Hit the like button, share and subscribe and comment, and hit that notification bell so you can be notified every time I release new content. And also, go to the website, runawayslaveproject.com, and go ahead and check out the merch, man. If you want to support the channel, and you don't want to send a donation, go ahead and purchase a shirt, purchase a cup. We got hoodies, we got hats, we got everything on the website right now. Go check it out. All right, peace.